Hello and welcome to my new podcast, or like my first podcast. I decided to launch this because I enjoy talking and I personally love listening to podcasts. I'm listening to podcasts every single day. So I'm really excited about this. My goal would be to really give you actionable strategies that you can use in your business to market your business, share customer success stories, share my own life and how being a business owner looks like, because there is a lot in there. So I'm really excited about this. And if you are someone who loves marketing or you want to scale your service business, then I would love if you would subscribe to this podcast. And if you ever have any questions, then you can find me on Instagram. And I always happily reply to all the DMs and help people whenever I can. So, like I said, I'm really excited. And I was really just thinking what should be the first episode, because there is just a lot of information out there, but I felt like the best way for you to get the most value out would be to maybe understand where I am coming from. So the first episode, I am going to share my story, and it makes me a little bit nervous because it's going to get really real in here. And my goal really is to but maybe there is someone out there who just needs to hear this. And if they see what I've been through and they're going through some tough break right now, then it just gives them confidence that there is better out there, and you can get there because I got there, and life is pretty cool right now. So I'm going to get I'm going to just share my story, and we'll just go from there. And if I just take some breaks in between, that's just because it's just sometimes hard to go through those things. But so I am going to start from the beginning. I was raised in a countryside in the middle of nowhere, and we moved around a lot because my mom was very young. She was 17 when she had me. And I have two twin brothers who are a year younger than I am. And my mom was literally like 18. She had three kids. And we were born, actually my brothers weren't, but like I was still born when it was Soviet Union in the country that I'm from, which is Estonia. Estonia is like this really tiny country underneath Finland. So it gets really cold and dark in here, but it's a good country, super safe in that sense. But back then it was under Soviet Union. So life was very different to people who were like raised in Soviet Union. Like they literally, the way they thought about everything was just, it was like communism. So like everything was provided for them. You didn't have any space to think your own thoughts, or there was no such thing as independence. But thankfully, the same year that I was born, Estonia became independent, so my mom could kind of like get a job, and not that she couldn't before, but like there was options out there basically. But the problem is that there was no money because literally the currency like got so inflated that there was just such a high inflation that people would come home with like bags full of cash and you couldn't buy anything from it. So basically, it was really tough times, and somehow my mom, with the help of my grandma, like fed us and got us here. So that's really good. But she was always really entrepreneurial as well. So I was raised in an environment where she was always trying out different business ideas, and always trying to make it work. And when we got older, we moved in with one of my stepfathers, and that's when my mom really went like really deep with business ownership, because I guess we were old enough to take care of ourselves more. So like she wasn't really worried if we can feed ourselves or stuff like that. And it was all good to an extent. It was always so inspiring to see my mom like literally learning new skills and starting these new businesses, and just always believing in herself that she can do it, and just coming from nothing, like literally no one helped her. She was actually in a really bad relationship where my stepfather was really abusive. There was a lot of alcohol in the house, and it was just very traumatizing for me and my brothers, and to her as well. But she still did it, like she still went out there, believed in her dreams. She's definitely like a dreamer like that, which was very, very inspiring. So I was really good in school. I was actually like, I got like pure A's all the time, just aces all the time, because I'm just like an overachiever person, and my mom never really pushed me to study. Like she was more of this like, you know, you study for yourself. Like she literally told me, if you study, you're gonna study for your own good, like not for me. Don't bring me home grades because I don't care about them, basically. So it built like this independence in me, that like I need to take care of myself in that sense and do this for myself. And my mom was always teaching me how, like I remember a situation where I can't say all the details, but there was a situation where there was a person who was just bragging that she wants to take like a rich husband, and that was her whole life goal. And when my mom heard that, she just told me like, if you ever want to become rich or have kids or something, then you have to be able to afford them yourself. Like you should never rely on a husband to pay your bills, to pay for your kids and stuff like that. And that was really empowering, but it's also brought me a lot of problems in my own relationships, because you are just too independent in that sense as well. But it's I feel like by the end of the day, it's still better to kind of have your own financial independence rather than, and being a bit too independent, rather than just being in a situation where you can't leave because you don't have the money, and you have a bunch of kids, and you can't live in from a bad situation because you just don't have the funds. So that was a really good lesson from my mom. But anywho, if we scroll further from the time, my mom had just started another business. This time it was a hotel, and she had started it with a really bad business partner. And this was 2000, I don't know, 2005 or something like that. But I'm just gonna scroll till 2008, because that's when shit hit the fan, like properly. And we had literally just spent like years. We were like 17. I was 17, I think, when it all went down. And we had spent years at home, like not seeing our mom at all, because she was working so hard. Like she was literally in the hotel since 7 a.m. till like 1 a.m. or something like that. And she was working super, super hard. And the business partner just scammed her completely and took away the business and the hotel, and put a lot of debt on mom's name. And of course, she's learned her lessons now. But what it meant for us is that they took her business, there was no income, and there was a lot of debt that was on our house, on like, just there was no money, and there was like such a big minus that was just ridiculous. So that was 2008, and obviously the jobs dried up as well, and it left us completely homeless. So I have been literally homeless with my brothers, and it's just like hard to even think about it, but it just happened. Like 2008 was really hard on everyone, but like we just lost everything. And my mom's only opportunity, and by the way, at the same time, like my stepfather is just being horrible, right? Like drinking, and I don't even know what he drank, because there was no money. Literally, we didn't have food, anything. We didn't have electricity. Our house was taken away by the bank. or it was about to be taken away, and my mom sold it in minus so that it just wouldn't go into like the whatever happens when bank takes it. So mom was still left with a huge mortgage to pay, and there was now no house either. And so for a while, my mom decided, she found, like, there was no job, so she found a job that she could do abroad, and she went there. And me and my brothers were kind of just left here in Estonia, where I'm right now as well. And I was 17, I was about to turn 18. So I immediately found a job and that I could do. And I actually took like 2 jobs or even 3 jobs, I don't remember. And I was also going into high school as well, but I was going like in evening classes, because I just couldn't, it was just too much with 2 jobs. And I was just taking care of my brothers. I was working really hard to get money so that we could rent a flat in the most dangerous part of the city. But it was like the cheapest. It was something that we could afford. So that year was like really, really tough, because I had to take care of my brothers, and I had to also work 2 jobs and also go to high school. And they almost kicked me out of high school, but I managed to talk to the teachers and still graduate, which is really good, and I'm so proud of that. I didn't graduate with the best grades, even though I was like a straight A student my whole life. But like, it was really hard to even think about studying or going to school when you had so many jobs to do. So anyways, that's where I was. And after like 2 years or something, that's when mom started to help us financially and pay our rent, which was really good, while I was studying. And that gave me a little bit more time to like only have 1 job, so I could quit, because I had like 2 jobs, and then I had like something I did on the weekends at night times as well, where I was just guarding parties. So I was like just making money any way I could, right? But I wasn't even thinking about starting a business, because my only goal was like putting food on the table and paying rent. Like I didn't even have the capacity to think about starting a business. Anyways, after a while, I met my partner, and my brothers moved to my mom to a different country as well. And they went to school there because they just, I don't know, they just wanted to go to school there. So they went there. I met my partner, and he was actually studying in England. So I moved to England with him, which was really cool, after I graduated high school. And that's when I actually started my first business. And it wasn't immediately, like the first year. We lived outside of London in a smaller town where he was going to university, and I was like working there because I was still like my English was always really good, but honestly, when you move to England, even I was taught British English in school, and I moved to England and I didn't understand anything that they were telling, because there's just so many slangs and dialects that it was really difficult. But anyways, I worked there, and then he graduated university, and then we moved to London, and I still work for, I want to say like 8 months or something. I found a job in my skill set, and then I was like, okay, I want to start my business now, because I just had this dream, and like I always wanted to have a business. And I don't even know what I was thinking. I just remember going to London and walking on the street, and seeing all these people and different cars, and these like just people smiling, and you would see so different people, like people wearing so many different clothes and looking so different and speaking so many different languages, and the houses just you would like see these really ugly and at the same time really beautiful and big towers. Like, it's just, for me, coming from like a small country, that was just so amazing. I remember just looking looking around like this wonder in my eyes, and just literally thinking that as long as my brain is working and I'm willing to do work, I can be anything and anyone in the city. Like I can make something out of myself. And it was just like, I remember this feeling so well, even right now, even though it was so long time ago. But I think this is why I really just wanted to start a business, because I just saw the opportunity that was available there. Like, you could succeed as long as you're just willing to be smart and work really hard. So I start my business, and of course I'm like overly excited, overly ambitious, really hard worker, and I work part-time. I have like a part-time job, and then at the same time do my own business. And I literally remember waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, sitting on my laptop, like researching, doing like Googling and other marketing, whatever, and then going to work for 9 o'clock, coming home at like 7, continuing with the research, and like just working till midnight. And I literally wasn't sleeping. And part of that was literally just the excitement of starting my own business and like wanting to do it. I was just so excited. And I remember even my partner just waking up at 4 a.m. and seeing me like next to the bed, like in laptop, and him being like, what the hell are you doing? But I was just so excited to do it. So it was really good times. And then I quit my job because it was just too much. Like, I literally, the not sleeping and serving clients and doing all this stuff was really getting on my health already. So I quit my job, and now I have to cover rent, because I had just rented an office, well, like a space, and I had money for only 1 month, which is so idiotic now that I think about it. But I was just too excited. And I guess if you're really young, because I was 21 then, if you're really young, you're taking way more risks than you do when you're a bit older. So like today, I would not do that. That is not something I recommend doing. It's just, there are easier ways of doing things. So I had 1 month worth of rent, and I was like, oh my God, how am I getting so many clients? I literally knew absolutely nobody in London. I was doing every marketing tactic I could think about. And I needed to I just remember the thought of like, I need to just get my 10 clients. And those 10 clients will get me more clients. That was my goal. So anyways, as like I figured it out, time goes by. Now it's 2 years down the line already, and I am getting tired. Like, all of this grinding is really burning me out. I am doing clients, 8-10 hours a day. I am then answering calls and booking in clients. I am writing blog posts and working on the website. I'm sitting on Facebook groups, trying to get clients like that. I was posting on Gumtree. I don't know if that even exists today. It probably does. It's like Craigslist would be in America, I guess. And back then it was free, I think. So I was posting there, but you had to post like new listings, because then it would be like top search result or something like that. So I was doing that. I was also posting content on Instagram. I was dropping flyers. I was literally, if there was something that someone said, I did it. Like, and I remember I was listening to Gary Vee and like all these influencers, well, business gurus. And I remember Gary just saying like, you have to produce 180 content pieces a day. I think now he's saying you have to do 1,000 a day. So he's literally upgraded. He's like, the amount of content that you have to produce. And I constantly felt like not a loser, but like a failure, because if he could do it, how I can't. And what I didn't realize is there was a huge team of employees behind him who would be doing, and he didn't have to deliver on anything. He just had to constantly create content. He didn't have to work with clients. He didn't have to do any of this. So it was completely unrealistic for a small business owner like me to have the same output. But no one was talking about that back then. And I remember just everyone saying that you shouldn't sleep. Sleep is when you're dead, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, I need to grind. And anyways, my health was really backfiring on me and I needed to change. And I literally remember one day I was coming from Tube and I had been working something like 12 days straight, 14 days straight, like 12-hour days. I had previously just finished with a client like the last evening, like I think 11 o'clock or 12 midnight, like literally, and gone home. And again, I had to be back at work in the morning, like 8, 9 a.m. So I'm coming off the tube and I'm in station. There's stairs and I'm so tired. I don't even lift my legs and I go straight down the staircase. And I'm wearing glasses, so I remember falling down. It was really long way to fall down. Everyone freaking out next to me, asking if I'm okay, if I need an ambulance, blah blah. I'm feeling so embarrassed, which is ridiculous, like reaction, but it's just any kind of attention like that always makes me really embarrassed. So my glasses are broken, my knee hurts, and I'm like, no, I'm fine, just trying to just get out of there as fast as possible. And I'm just walking like with a limp, like literally, and it's so painful and I'm so angry. I'm like, is this why I started this business? And at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life as well, and I'm so angry. I'm like, this is not what I was promised. This is not why I'm doing this. This is just, it should not be like this at all. And I'm so grateful that I fell that day, because that kind of like a wake up call changed a lot. Everything, well, changed actually everything for me. Yeah, I could even say everything. So the same day, maybe, or same week, I literally start looking for my first employee, and I start looking for a way of getting clients without doing so much work. And I stumble upon something called Facebook ads. And thank God I did, because that completely changed my whole life. Like, this is why I am here today, where I am. And it was so scary because I didn't understand what is advertising. I've never learned any, like I never studied anything about marketing. I went and studied accounting in uni as well, but like marketing was just like, everything that I knew came from research and following these gurus, reading books and watching YouTube videos. And like, I just didn't know anything about advertising. So it was really like new, and it was also scary and I didn't understand it. But thankfully I stumbled upon a really good coach back then. And I learned about Facebook advertising, and I spent like money that I was way too much for me on that course that I didn't have on the day. And thank God I did, because it all worked out, thankfully. Unfortunately, that's not the experience. Like, if like all of the coaches always say that you should invest in yourself, and I totally agree with that. You need to invest in yourself. But it's not as simple as like you see a program and then you immediately join. You should do so much research nowadays, because there's just so much scammers, and not even scammers, but maybe even really good coaches, but they can't provide you with everything that you need. So you still leave the program without getting like a return on investment, or even getting results, or getting your problem solved that you needed to get solved. It was a bit better back then. Like, I don't remember that many scammers or like being scared so much, because I guess it was like a new industry. So I'm just sipping my tea in here as well. And if you want to, you can totally have a cup of tea next to you as well. And so I do this course, and I have to invest money into ads. And the only thing I knew was that I needed to make this work, because I had spent all this money learning how to do this. So failure was not an option. Also, seeing that it worked for other people gave me confidence that it can work for me. And that's why it's always good to see like case studies and reviews and stuff. So it gives you confidence that it can work for you as well. So I tested out tons of ads and I was getting quite down already. Like it didn't work immediately. Everyone just says like, oh, I bought this course and it immediately like, boom, everything changed. That was not me. That's usually not me. Like even if I do learn something, that's not the way it usually works for me. So I had to test out a lot of different, I had to learn about my audience. I had to like create offers, understand how it works. And I finally had an ad that started working. And how I even found out that it was working is I was still really busy. Now I had also an employee as well. And I remember going to work, seeing that there wasn't a booking on my booking system. I had not booked that client in with a phone call. And I was really just wondering where she came from. So she shows up and I ask, how did you find us? And she says, on Facebook. I saw like a picture of, and she explained what she saw. And I was like, oh my God, that's an ad. And she had seen the ad. She had pressed the button, booked in the service online and showed up. And I was like, oh my God, like I had not done anything to get her through the door. And this had happened in the evening when I was, I don't know if I was sleeping or I was like still doing clients, but I hadn't been involved in there at all. So I was so happy. And after that, I tweaked the ad and it started bringing in clients consistently. The best thing that happened was that I could cut like 80% of the tasks that I was doing for my marketing. So I stopped posting content every single day. I was doing Instagram lives every single day before and Facebook lives. I stopped doing that because they weren't bringing in clients that much. I stopped posting on Gumtree. I stopped posting blog posts every single, like I was doing, I think 2 or 3 blog posts a week. I left it to like once every 2 weeks. I stopped doing flyers. There's just so much stuff that I stopped doing and instead invested all this money and energy into these ads. And they blew up completely. Like our business got so busy. I hired more people. In the next couple of years, we doubled our business every single year. And it was amazing. It was all because of Facebook ads. And I was so grateful. That was like the one thing. And none of our competitors were using ads. Everyone was relying on Instagram content and blog posts. I believe no one was really like using ads to advertise. So I was really happy about that. And then after a while, everything was systemized in the business. So I actually we got sick of London a lot because I think I was just burned out. Like all of these years of grinding and only thinking about work. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have any friends. I was just working, and coming home, eating and sleeping. And it was just, I think I was just burned out from that. So we decided to move to Spain. My partner was going to quit his job and my business was going to run in London and we were going to move to Spain. And we did. We moved to Spain. It was running. Everything was great without me. And the way, like what gave me the confidence to be able to even do this. And by the way, it wasn't like overnight. It wasn't like I was like, let's move to Spain today and then tomorrow we moved. I think it took me 6 months to prepare everything and make sure that everything can run smoothly. But one of the things that gave me confidence was those ads, because I could do those like Facebook ads when I'm there and everything else was systemized and the team was doing it. And I just had to make sure that we would have enough clients coming through the door, and I was using social media ads for that. So we enjoyed Spain for a year. We took a dog and we were on a beach every single day. I was working maybe an hour a day, really just recovering. Started exercising. I started eating good, drinking water. And that's like, I literally would have UTIs like all the time because I forgot to drink water. That's how busy I was. So I was drinking a ton of water in Spain and I started to do that. I felt like I got my energy back. It was just amazing. And then comes COVID, which was absolutely freaking terrible. And we were stuck in Spain. And it's a whole other story that I don't want to maybe go into right now because it was just so terrible. The whole 2 years that it was going on. But anyways, by the end of these 2 years, I had to close the business in London because we were kept closed for over 9 months and we just ran out of money. I had to take on debt to reopen it. And by the time we opened, my team had become very comfortable with being home and getting paid. So I was really struggling to getting people to work. And I couldn't really say anything to them either because I was in Spain. So I wasn't there to do the services myself either. So after a year of trying to make this work, I decided to just call it quits and close it down. And I closed the business and literally gave my business away to one of the employees who was there the whole period of COVID. She was so amazing. She was the first to help me. She was like staying longer, going earlier, taking on the extra responsibilities. And I literally gave her the business. Like I didn't give her the limited company because it had that on and stuff, but I gave her all the clients. I gave her the website. I gave her the social media accounts. Like she just had to go to a different location, I helped her find a location which was literally next door because I had to close that agreement with the landlord and she could just continue the whole business and she would have her own like limited company. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy for people, but that's just the way I am. Like I'm always just giving people as much as I can. I mean, I've never given a business to anyone else so far, but she just helped me so much and I needed to move on. And I didn't see the value of just letting the business die just because I decided to close it and move on. Like I knew that she could do it. She could literally just build like a really good income for herself and continue doing it. And I don't know, I guess that was just my thank you for all of these difficult years that she helped me through. So there I am again at the bottom, right? Like now I don't have a business. Now we had moved to Estonia because we wanted to spend time with our family. The COVID period was just so tough emotionally for us that we just wanted to go to a safe place, I guess, and familiar place and just spend time with our family. Like we'd been away for 10 years and yeah, we just wanted to spend time with family, I guess. And so we come back and now my business is closed and I have no income and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life because for this past 10 years, I had thought of myself as a business owner and as like the specialist in this one service. And now I was not that. And that was not something like, that was the only thing I knew, which was I don't want to continue in the same service because I felt like I had just moved on. It was just too traumatizing, like doing it again. So I was going through a pretty sad period. I was quite unresponsive. Like I was just mourning, I think, my business, was my first business. Like I had it for 7 years and I had grown up with it and it was just a lot. So, but because I didn't have money coming in, I had to do something. So I started doing all the crazy things you could think about. I started e-commerce shops. I did drop shipping. I wrote books, published them on Amazon. Some of them are still published in there. I launched courses. I sold courses on Facebook ads. I started offering services, like just doing a couple of clients with like offering Facebook ads for them. I bought a flat and refurbished it and sold it, like flipped property, and that money paid for my bills for multiple months and invested into these other, like I just did everything. And one day I started to feel normal again because of like whenever I create, I feel better. And now I was getting sad over a different problem because I was now thinking, I am doing so many things. They're all kind of working. Like some of them are working, some of them are not bringing in money, but they could work. And I knew the way to make it work is by focusing on one thing at a time. Like I can't just do 10 things at the same time because none of those things are going to work, especially in the beginning, because when you're launching a business, it just takes so much energy out of you. So I'm walking with my partner and my dog, and I'm just telling him, like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's so much that I could do. There's so much opportunity, but I don't know what to focus on. And I'm like, just this conflict in my body. And the moment I say that, I look down. I kid you not, this is a real story. Like, I'm recording this on a video as well. So if I do post this on YouTube, I could show you what I'm about to say as well. But it's so far away. It doesn't matter. I look down. I'm just finishing the sentence saying, like, I just don't know what to do. I wish someone could tell me what to do because I don't want to make a mistake in here. I look down and there's something shiny. And I look at it, and I never touch stuff on the street, okay? Like, I don't like to touch stuff on the street. But this was so shiny, I had to touch it and see what it is. And I pick it up, and it's a ring that says, do what makes your soul shine. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, how is this even possible? The moment I finish my sentence, I find this ring that says, do what makes your soul shine. My first thought in my head when I said that, first of all, I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, this is unreal, universe. Like, telling me, literally throwing it in my face and answering my question. And the first thought I have is like marketing. That's what makes my soul shine. That's what makes me happy. It makes me just excited. And it also has a ton of opportunity. So the whole walk, we're walking, I'm like, oh my God, can you believe this? Like, I'm just so excited. The whole walk, telling my partner, like, okay, I want to do marketing. I'm starting to talk. I'm like, I could do this service and this and this and this and this. I come home and I go on Facebook and I literally find my first client the same day. And that client had 3 businesses that they needed ads for. And I sent emails back and forth. They signed and they paid me the same day. This all happened within like 8 hours. It was just ridiculous what universe could do. So this business has truly been a sign from the universe. This is what universe wanted me to do. And if you don't, believe in universe, higher power, energy, whatever, like someone else was giving me direction because that was not me. That's not what happens usually. So I started this business. We started offering services, ad services for all businesses in the beginning because I had to really learn. I had been doing ads, obviously, for my own businesses. And I launched, by the way, I skipped over a lot of stuff. Like I launched multiple businesses within those 7 years in different countries. And all of those businesses were launched by advertising. So I couldn't have done it in other countries without being able to advertise. And at the same time, I was helping a couple of my friends do ads as well and grow their business like that. So I'm obviously not like a newbie when it comes to advertising, but like this whole business model was definitely new for me. And I took a little break. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will see the ring that I actually found. And it's like probably like the cheapest ring that is out there. I don't even know if it's silver or what it is. I mean, yeah, it's silver because it said so, but it's just, I don't know. It's something that completely just changed my life. So I am keeping this ring forever. So I am starting now this business. I'm on a completely different journey this time because I am now selling expensive services to business owners, and I have a lot of responsibilities as well to deliver. So I became super obsessed with all of the clients that we worked with, learning everything that I can about their business. I was doing so much extra work, which not that it wasn't necessary, but I was way over delivering, like with the amount of work that I was doing. And over the next couple of years, I am just testing all these strategies out. I'm taking tons of courses. And by the way, all these 7 years that I was working with my other business, I am taking tons of courses about business, marketing, advertising, just anything that could improve our revenue, improve my leadership experience or like skills, just anything when it comes to business. And I have those skills with this new business, but I am still like learning. And we finally ended up with working with some amazing clients, getting epic results for e-commerce products, selling really expensive products over $1,500 per piece, to selling really cheap ones and getting really good results. And also services like lead generation, selling different kind of services, which are like local businesses and online services, and just developing all these skill sets. And I've really just learned what I like and who I like to help, and also what services I like selling more. So that's how we end up here today, where we work with service business owners who are really passionate about what they're selling, about how they're helping their clients. And when I work with people like that, I get more energy. Like, we worked with clients who would like, just such a bad word to say, but would suck me empty from energy and would leave me with such a burned out feeling, because all I would do is just give, and it's just never enough. And it was just terrible experience. Thankfully, there was literally only 2 in the past 2 years, which I think is because since if you are like a business owner, because I've been in business for 10 years, this year is 10 years in business. I'm 31 this year. And in this time, you learn the patterns. So maybe I shouldn't even had those 2 experiences, but because this business is new, I still had those bad experiences with 2 clients. So now we know who we like to work with, those passionate, mission-driven business owners and service business owners. And it's amazing. Like, I love helping our clients, seeing, like, this is one of my traits as well. Like, I love learning. I learn all the time. I'm always learning new skills. I'm always reading. I'm always taking courses. I'm always just learning and going deep into topics. And now, in a position where I am right now, is I can see into all of these businesses, like literally behind the scenes, seeing their revenue, seeing their profits, seeing their bookings, seeing their, like, everything. I'm seeing 6-figure businesses. I'm seeing 7-figure businesses, like what they do, how they sell, what their clients think, what their expectations are, all of these things. And I'm so privileged. I understand that. I'm just so grateful, because this is what makes me excited, seeing all these businesses and taking all these strategies and putting them into their businesses and seeing how their life is changing. Like, I've seen our clients having babies, taking maternity leaves. One of my clients literally started traveling finally after years of being behind the chair doing the services. She finally started traveling. She just took a trip to Australia for a whole month, and her business grew at the same time when she was away. So I've seen clients do that. I've seen clients literally just having better sleep because there's not that much stress in their life anymore, and they don't feel alone being as a business owner. So it's amazing seeing that. And my best part about is like I said, I love seeing behind the businesses, or like seeing what they're doing and what is like the common traits a good business owner has versus someone who I know is not going to be successful. And I can now completely like recognize a person based on what their goals are or targets for their business, and also what they value. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm also really grateful because I am living a completely different life, like from being completely homeless when I was 17, 18, to now, living in a really comfortable home, being in Estonia right now, where I am close to my family, being able to work from home. I'm literally working sometimes just an hour a day, depending on how much work I'm taking, how much like rest I need. My grandma recently died, like literally almost a month ago to the day, and I'm so grateful I was here these past years. And when she was in the hospital for 2 weeks, I was there every day, like most of the days. I missed a couple of days, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do that, because this would not have been able to me. I would not have been able to do any of this if I would have had a job, or if I would have still been in London working on this other business that I had. So I'm so grateful. My life is completely different today. And I am so excited to share this story with you. It has been pretty tough right now, because I'm sure you could hear that sometimes my voice would maybe tremor a little bit. That's because I have never shared these parts about my stories, and there's a lot more there, but I'm not ready to share everything, because I'm still going through all of these things. And I'm really just hoping that if someone is listening who is going through this time when either you are burned out with your business, you freaking hate your business, or you are just struggling emotionally, or you're just struggling financially, or you don't know like what to do with your life, then just take one step at a time and it'll come to you. Sometimes with a slam on your face, like with me, with that ring, literally. And just moving forward is what's going to make this better, and just believing that there is better out there. I am convinced that I am here because when I was 12 or 13, 14, I read Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within book, because my classmate, one of my best friends, gave it to me. And that book was the first contact that I had that there was better life out there, and it was in my control. I could choose to make this happen. I didn't have to depend on my stepfather beating and being aggressive at home, and the alcohol, and living in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. We had no neighbors. Like, we were so much in the forest. Like, our closest neighbors were like 1 kilometer away, so it was really far away. And it was just proof to me that there is something better out there, and I hope that you will find that proof as well. Find proof that if there is someone who is getting results that you want, if they can do it, you can too. And there is better business. There is a better way to run business as well. You don't have to burn out. Don't be like me. And I didn't even tell you about all the health stuff that I went through, which were also pretty scary. And yeah, I just hope that I have left you with some belief that you got this. And if you got any value out of this, send me a DM, share it in your stories, or send this episode to a friend who is maybe going through something or just needs some proof that they can do it as well. And make sure you subscribe to this podcast. If you have a moment, leave a review wherever you're listening to this from. And I have planned out really exciting episodes for you. I've already recorded some of them because it's better to just record them up front so that you would have something to listen to. And they are really, really good. Some of them are really controversial, which are going to piss a lot of people off. But it needs to be said. And yeah, thank you so much for spending this almost an hour with me. I appreciate it so, so, so much. And I will see you in the next episode.